Hi Stampers, it's Tina Shaw from TinaLovesToStamp.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Fairborn, Ohio. And if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you need a catalog, I would be happy to send you one. Just let me know. And if you need a demonstrator to order any supplies like the ones that I'm using today, you can also let me know that as well. TinaShaw.stampinup.net. That's my Stampin' Up! Website. So today I have this cute card. I think it turned out really cute. I don't know if you can see all the sparkle or not, but I did use Pretty Peacock cardstock as my base. And then I used the copper foil sheets that I have for my first layer. And then I have a layer of Very Vanilla, and then a layer of the pretty Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper. I used the Pretty Peacock for the poinsettia and the foils for the leaves and the little pretty pieces. Here's the inside. I think it turned out really pretty. So let's get started. So my base is Pretty Peacock, and it's cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and folded. And then of course use your bone folder to get a nice crisp fold. Then my first layer is the copper foil, and that one is at 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4. And what you can do, I didn't do it on this one, but what I have done on my other ones is go ahead and cut out my leaves and my little sprigs that I need so you don't waste extra paper. But I forgot to show you. Anyway, pretend like it is. And then I have the layer of Very Vanilla. Oh, this is for my inside. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Inside, inside, inside. This one is 5 1/4 by 4. And so I'm here. This must be my smaller piece. Okay, this one is the Very Vanilla 3 3/4 by 5, which will go here. And then we have the same dimensions for the Brightly Gleaming, which is the same size, 3 3/4 by 5. And so how I did this is I took my trimmer and I marked, let me see if I can find my marks here. I marked with a pencil. I may have to mark again because it's hard to see on this pretty paper. So I'm going to mark across the bottom. I'm going to mark this at the 1 inch. I have my little sheet here. I made up a little sheet. You're going to cut or mark it here. Let me find my pencil. At 1 inch. Oh, there it is. I see it now. There's the 1 inch. And then on this side at the bottom, you're going to mark this one at 2 1/4, which is right there. Okay. So now I'm going to put these in my trimmer, and I'm going to find this mark here and with the corner top edge there, and I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to also cut to my next line, which is right here, and the corner again. And I think I'm going to start at this end there. And then this piece, you can just toss that aside. So now I'm going to take my pieces here, and I'm going to glue these down. But first I wanted to add a little something that I didn't add on my other card, but I thought it would be pretty, is to add just a little layer of copper on this. So I'm going to take this on the opposite side and put me some Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to lay that down. You want to make sure that you have enough room up there so you don't lose your point. And just try to get that, well, however big you want it to be. Think about like that. And then I'm just going to snip with my scissors. And snip with my scissors. Okay. So then, oh, I'm just going to have to snip this off here, like right there. Okay. So I can go ahead and glue down this piece. I just thought that added just a little bit of shine. Since I used the copper as a layer, I thought that would be pretty on here as well. Okay, so there's that part. I'll take and put the glue on this side like I did with the other side. Make sure I get that tip good. And then just lay this down. And I just want a little bit here. Don't like that. Okay. And then again, just snip these off. Just wants to fly. There we go. All right, so now, see how that will look. And then you can just kind of overlap the one if you need to, and then we'll trim that off. So go ahead and glue this one. Make sure you line up all your edges here, like that. Now I'm just going to trim off this top little point there. How cute is that? Love it, love it, love it. I do want to stamp my Merry Christmas right there, like I have right here. And I have actually embossed that piece, or that saying, the words. And so I'm going to take and just apply a little bit. I might need some more tape right there. This on there. Oh, there, that gets rid of that stuff too. And then I'm going to have my embossing powder ready. And I'm going to use Versamark. And then the Merry Christmas stamp, which is from, I'm going to show you what I used today. I used the Poinsettia Petals bundle. I've used some of the stamps, and I've used the dies for the poinsettias and the pretty little sprigs and holly leaves. And then I used for Unto Us the sharing with you the glory, wonder, and miracle of this holy season. I think that's what I did, yeah. And then on the outside is from that too. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this right about there. And just leave that down for a second or two extra. And then I'm going to take my copper embossing powder. Make sure I get enough on here. Okay, I heated this up with my heat tool and set the embossing powder. And so now I'm going to take and go ahead and glue this piece onto here. And I think I will just use my multi-purpose liquid glue. And put that right on there. This one I made it just a wee bit bigger layer than I did this one. This one I only did like a little 16th. And this one I've done about an 1/8. So I cut it 1/4 of an inch between the layers. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to here. Again, using my glue. right way. I've been known to put them on upside down. So I try to check every time I put it on a layer here. Okay, so that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is take my poinsettias that I've already cut out using the Pretty Peacock and using the dies from the Poinsettia Petals die set. And now I'm going to pull all these pieces over here that I'm going to be using. And let's see. So what I like to do is just bend these just a touch. I don't like them really bent up a lot. And in fact, I like my first layer to be flat. So I'm going to use my glue dots to put these layers together. So I'm going to put a glue dot there and then stagger this. So I need to get up here or move this back here. Okay, so it's there. And then another one. Whoops, almost lost him. Right there. And this layer, I just love how it embosses at the same time it cuts out. I just think that is so pretty on these. Okay, again, just kind of stagger. And then this one, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I did use a little bit of Winka Stella on that, on the last couple of layers. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to put it on this one. And I think I'm going to lay down my silicone mat. That way I can just wipe that off later. Okay, so there's that one. Let's let that dry for a second. And then I'm going to put it on one of these little ones as well. Like that. And then it looks like I did just a wee bit coming out on these. Not the whole way. But just enough to add some sparkle. I love sparkle. And shimmer and shine and bling. All those fun things. Okay. So, there's that. Now, put that lid back on there. And now I'm going to take some more glue dots and continue putting my poinsettia together. Now, if you like, you can always use Stampin' Dimensionals and pop these up. But for me, I'm going to pop up the bottom one onto the card right here. And so I didn't want a whole lot, so I would be able to mail this one in an envelope, hopefully. Makes it just a little bit easier getting in and out of the envelope if it's not so puffy. Okay, so there's our beautiful poinsettia. And I also used one of the beaded pearls. And as you know, the beaded pearls come in silver. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but I made mine copper. And how I did that was I used dark cinnamon cider blend. And all I did was just take it around the edges of the silver first. It's amazing how that works. Make sure you get on the top too. And it dries pretty quickly because they are alcohol-based markers. And then, once I've gone all the way around, I do want to get the little dots on the top here. There we go. Take that off. All right, so there is my copper pearl holder. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid back on here, and then I'm just going to use a few more glue dots to attach this to my poinsettia. And this being metal, I do like to use several glue dots on it, just to make sure it doesn't come off very easily. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this and put that right in the center. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Okay, so now, like I told you what I was going to do, I'm going to take one dimensional and put in the center. And I'm going to place it down a little bit, about like right there, because I want all my leaves to clear the edges of my card. Now I'm going to take my pretty little holly leaves. You can see the beautiful embossing on those too. It's just so pretty. So I don't know how many here I'm going to use. I'll figure that out as I go. So first I'm going to use a large one. And I'm just using my Stampin' seal. A speck of something. Okay. And then I try to bend them up just a little bit. And I kind of think I want that one to come down over that just a bit. Like that. Now I'm going to take a smaller one. And you notice I'm just putting it on the bottom half because I kind of want it to have some dimension and just fold up just a little bit on the edges. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to take another smaller one. Do I want a small or do I want a large? Let me see. Yeah, I think I want a smaller one. Now, when it comes in the die set, you do get two of the dies. One is the larger and then one is the smaller. So you can cut out, you know, at least two at a time, depending on how many large or small leaves you want. Okay, and then I'm going to add this one over here. Right there. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to take a couple of these little twigs that I cut out in the pretty peacock, and I'm going to, oh, here's all my scissors over here. I'm going to cut off the bottom, because sometimes when I try to put those in there, those little stems are so long, just depending on your project. And I like to put the blue on top of the copper. Okay, so I'm going to do one more over here. And this one. And see how I just gently raise that up. And that is because I've only have that holding down by that dimensional, which is great because that way I can tuck all these down in there. Okay, so I got one more blue peacock. I've got one more copper leaf here, like that. And then I want to add a couple of my beautiful copper twigs. Wow, I'm gonna rip that one up. That's okay, I don't need that part. Now it's sticking to my finger. And so I want this one to be out there. And then this one, got one more. come it off. Try to be a little more gentle, Tina. There we go. And I think I want this one down here. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so then what I did on the front was, of course, more bling. I like to use these beautiful champagne rhinestones. Two of the bigger ones. I'll put these down at the bottom here. One. And that one doesn't want to come up. Here we go. I think it was stuck to the paper. Two. And then I'm going to use some of these. I just like to stick like in the little curly Q on here, like that. And one more, about right there. And there is the front of our card. I like to puff those up just a little bit. Okay, so there's that. So now all we have to do is stamp the inside. And on the inside, instead of embossing again with the copper embossing powder, I like to use cinnamon cider because it's a very coppery color, and as you can see, it, you know, it's just a lot easier than doing that. If you want to, of course, you can emboss, but I'm just going the easy route on the inside. I want to make sure I don't have ink on my edges because that makes me not happy. So there's that. Let's see how that turns out. Pretty good. And then for my pretty little holly looking things here, I just added, oops, I got another blob. Gotta be careful. Make sure I got it all inked up. Okay, so now I'm going to add one like right there. Isn't that pretty? Oh boy, I just smudged it. did. And then right there. We'll pretend like that's not there. Now, I'm going to take the little, this actually is like the inside of the poinsettia stamp, but I'm going to use it as little berries stamp. Like that. Then to cover this up, I think I'll just add a few more of these. There. Nobody would ever know. We can always fix our boo-boos, right? Okay. So now all I have to do is put this on the inside. And isn't that so pretty? And we're all done. So let me know what you think. Here's my other card. And I think it was pretty easy. I will have all the information on my blog. That's tinalovestostamp.com. And then with all of the dimensions of the papers. And I think I told you this was called Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper. Love it, love it. So anyway, I hope to see you really soon. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and sign up on my blog site, on my blog, for email updates so you will see every time I post a new card or video. All right, see you soon. Bye.